Which of the following is not true about Kaohsiung's Shoushan Zoo? You don't need to know anything about the zoo, just take a wild guess. A. Mary was the name of a 30-year-old Formosan black bear. B. Ali was the name of a 52-year-old African elephant. Or C. Shakespeare was the name of a 10-year-old chimpanzee. 2 of those are correct, and 1 of them is just false. Keep listening to Formosa Fauna to find out which is which. Spend the next 20 minutes feeding your brain with Formosa Fauna so you can become smarter than all of your friends. Every Friday is Formosa Fauna Friday. Hello, I'm Tristan, the voice of Formosa Fauna. I love animals and I love talking about them. If you're even remotely curious about the animal kingdom, you're in the right place. Today we're going to talk about Shoushan Zoo losing multiple senior animals, but Shoushan Zoo getting chimpanzees to pick up books for World Book and Copyright Day. The Chinese tourist who picked up a protected sea turtle on Xiaoliuqiu. Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins documented off the coast of Taiwan for the first time, and airports that are helping restore coastal ecosystems. Let's dive right in. Kaohsiung's Shoushan Zoo has lost several senior animals this year, including the African elephant Ali, who was 52 years old, the white tiger Zhao Hai, who was 19 years old, the African lion Erga, who was 23 years old, and most recently the Formosan black bear Mary, who was around 30 years old. Because Mary's birthday was unknown, the zoo estimated her age based on her teeth and physique, placing her at around 30 years old at the time of her passing, announced just this Monday. Mary didn't come to Shoushan Zoo until 2020, when she was already around 25 years old. She was known for her calm and gentle temperament. The zoo said she spent her days moving at a relaxed pace. That's so cute. Often strolling through her enclosure or resting, just bringing comfort to visitors. The zoo provided specialized care for Mary due to her age. They converted a pool into a private bathing area for her, and zookeepers adjusted routines to accommodate her slower movements, sometimes waiting after closing hours to guide her back to her indoor closure. Sean Scanlon with Taiwan News reported this story and said that the zoo stated that Mary received consistent veterinary care and lived her later years in a peaceful environment. Again, Kaohsiung's Shoushan Zoo is making news because they're marking World Book and Copyright Day with a playful experience for their primates, creating edible books filled with hidden treats. Ahead of the April 23rd observance, zookeepers introduced edible books designed for chimpanzees specifically. Made from recycled cardboard and filled with sunflower seeds, the books encourage the animals to forage while engaging their problem-solving skills. Visitors were amused as chimpanzees appeared to flip through the pages, carefully picking out hidden treats. Some animals even gathered multiple books before settling in to eat, drawing laughter and awe from zoo visitors. The zoo first launched the initiative last year as part of a global celebration tied to World Book Day, an event established by UNESCO. The date also commemorates literary figures such as William Shakespeare and others. Kaohsiung tourism officials said the enrichment activity is tailored to the chimpanzees' preferences, using their favorite snacks to stimulate both physical and cognitive activity. World Book Day coincides with Spain's St. George's Day, a tradition in which people exchange books and roses. One chimpanzee, Manhua, was one of the ones seen gathering several books at once before climbing to a perch to enjoy them. Another, Li Zhong, picked up what appeared to be a newspaper-like bundle, appearing to scan its help-wanted pages. Zoo staff joked that it was fortunate the chimpanzees could not read, or they might be out of a job. Good one. Good one, zoo staff. I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska in the United States. And where I'm from, we have a program that lets middle and high school students volunteer for our community zoo. I did that for 1 year over the summer. And something that always stuck with me was how the zookeepers were constantly finding new ways to provide the animals with enrichment. That was the key word, enrichment. Whether the animals had opposable thumbs, like the chimpanzees, or not, they used a wide variety of different materials and shapes. They either hung or hid or simply placed these different things with other things inside of them, usually food, to motivate them to interact with it. It was like giving dog toys to a dog, but dog toys tend to be really cute and made specifically for dogs. In this case, they would come up with the most random things at the zoo. It could be recycled tires or canisters or containers or ropes or any kinds of fabric, recycled things. And they would turn that into something that the animals genuinely were curious about and interested in. That and watching the visitors were their main forms of entertainment. At the beginning of today's episode, I asked the following question. Which of the following is not true about Kaohsiung's Shoushan Zoo? I said you don't need to know anything about the zoo. You can just take a wild guess. Now, the options were... Okay, so two of these are true and one is false, right? The options were A. Mary is a 30-year-old Formosan black bear. B. Ali was a 52-year-old African elephant. Or C. Shakespeare was a 10-year-old chimpanzee. Were you listening closely? I did mention all these names, but yeah, you might not have known the answer at the beginning of the episode, but it's possible you do know it now if you were listening. The first two are real names of animals at Kaohsiung's Shoushan Zoo, all passed away this year, unfortunately. And the incorrect one is Shakespeare. So we did talk about chimpanzees, but at Shoushan Zoo, none of them are named Shakespeare. We mentioned Shakespeare because of World Book Day. And now you know. A Chinese tourist could face a substantial fine after being filmed picking up a protected sea turtle off of Taiwan's offshore island of Shoushan, according to authorities. The incident occurred near Vase Rock, a well-known coastal landmark on the island in Pingdong County. Video circulating online showed the man, identified by his surname Liu, lifting the turtle out of the water, prompting concern among local residents and conservation advocates. Taiwan's Coast Guard administration said it received a report along with video evidence on Sunday and dispatched officers to locate the individual. Liu was later identified and brought in for questioning before the case was referred to prosecutors for further investigation. Under Taiwan's Wildlife Conservation Act, sea turtles are classified as protected species, and any form of harassment, including touching or handling, is prohibited. Violators can face penalties of up to 1 year in prison, detention, or fines ranging from 60,000 NT dollars, about $1,900 to 300,000 NT dollars, or about $9,500. Authorities stressed that the law applies equally to both locals and foreign nationals. Officials also reiterated that long-standing guidelines for interacting with wildlife, often summarized as do not touch, do not disturb, and do not feed. Shoushan is one of Taiwan's most prominent habitats for green sea turtles and a popular destination for snorkeling and ecotourism. Conservation messages are widely displayed on ferries to the island, warning visitors to keep a safe distance from marine animals at all times. Despite these measures, similar incidents continue to occur. Officials are urging the public to report violations through the Coast Guard's 118 hotline. Again, that is a 118 hotline. Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins have been filmed off the coast of Tainan for the first time, a rare sighting that officials say represents an improvement in the local marine ecosystem. The footage was captured on March 12th, about 1.5 nautical miles off Anping district by fisherman Chen Tewei, according to the Tainan city government. While multiple dolphins were reportedly visible at the time, only 2 were clearly recorded in the video. City officials said this is the first documented visual evidence of Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins in the waters off of Tainan, despite long-standing anecdotal reports from fishermen who said the animals were occasionally seen feeding near oyster farming areas. The sighting is being viewed as a positive indicator of environmental recovery along Taiwan's western coast, where industrial activity, fishing pressure, and coastal development have historically placed stress on marine habitats. Local authorities noted that the dolphins appeared to be foraging in the area, suggesting that fish populations and coastal conditions could be improving. The city has been working with the Tainan Fishermen's Association to strengthen conservation practices, including promoting sustainable fishing methods, releasing juvenile fish, and discouraging illegal or destructive fishing activity. Officials say these combined efforts are aimed at restoring a balance to coastal ecosystems that have long been affected by overfishing and pollution, particularly in shallow waters where the species is known to feed. The Indo-Pacific humpback dolphin, known as the Chinese white dolphin to some, is a vulnerable marine mammal found in coastal waters off of the western Pacific and eastern Indian Oceans. The species is characterized by its distinctive hump-backed dorsal ridge and, in some populations, a pinkish coloration caused by blood vessels near the skin. In Taiwan, the species is considered particularly rare and is closely monitored due to its limited habitat range and sensitivity to environmental change. Conservation groups have repeatedly warned that habitat degradation, fishing nets, vessel traffic, and water pollution continue to pose threats to its survival. Researchers say sightings such as this one are significant not only because of their rarity, but also because they provide valuable data on distribution and habitat use. The latest footage adds to a growing body of evidence suggesting that conservation measures along parts of Taiwan's western coast may be having localized ecological benefits. Taiwan's National Park Service is expanding its ecotourism efforts across the island with conservation-linked tourism programs that highlight wildlife protection as a core part of national park management. The agency oversees a wide range of protected areas, including Kending, Taijiang, Yushan, and Shepa, and Yangmingshan, and marine parks such as South Penghu and Dongsha Atoll. These sites are home to diverse ecosystems ranging from alpine habitats to coastal wetlands and coral reefs. Officials say biodiversity conservation remains central to park operations, particularly in sensitive habitats such as wetlands and coastal zones. At Taijiang National Park in Tainan, for example, conservation work has focused on protecting endangered black-faced spoonbills, which spend the winter in Taiwan's southwestern wetlands. The park has partnered with nearby fish farm operators to create artificial foraging habitats for the birds, helping support their survival during migration seasons. Wetland areas such as Sicao and the Zhangwen estuary remain key feeding grounds for the species. Marine conservation is also a priority in offshore parks where coral reef ecosystems and island habitats support a wide range of marine life. Authorities say these environments are increasingly being integrated into ecotour programs designed to reduce environmental impact while raising public awareness of biodiversity. Across Taiwan, park authorities are also working with local communities to train guides who can help visitors better understand native wildlife, ecosystems, and conservation practices during tours. Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport has partnered with state-run CPC Corporation Taiwan to expand ecological conservation efforts across northern Taiwan with a focus on protecting bird, butterfly, and coastal habitats. The collaboration will target sites in Taoyuan, Keelung, and New Taipei and work collaboratively with airport sustainability initiatives. Earlier this month, personnel from both organizations, the Taoyuan International Airport and CPC Corporation Taiwan, surveyed nesting grounds for little terns in Taoyuan's Taoyuan district. The migratory seabirds, a protected species, travel from Australia to Taiwan's northern and northeastern coasts each summer to breed. To support the population, authorities plan to establish sheltered nesting areas and reinforce seasonal restrictions that limit human activity during the April to August breeding period. The partnership will also focus on restoring butterfly habitats near CPC facilities. Butterflies. The project will involve planting nectar-rich vegetation to create more sustainable environments for pollinators in an effort to enhance biodiversity in industrial and semi-urban zones. The two sides are also working on measures to protect wildlife along waterways. Planned installations along the Keelung River will help animals that fall into the river escape safely, addressing a lesser-known but persistent risk for local fauna. The initiative aligns with a wider environmental effort by the airport, officials say, which has in recent years sought to position itself as a leader in sustainable aviation. It has reduced carbon emissions by thousands of tons over the past 5 years and continues to invest in infrastructure supporting sustainable aviation fuel. CPC, for its part, has expanded conservation work tied to its energy operations. This includes measures to protect algal reef ecosystems near its liquefied natural gas terminal in Taoyuan's Guanyin district, as well as coral restoration projects near gas storage facilities in Kaohsiung. Perhaps something has been on your mind recently relating to animals. Something you saw, something you heard. For me, recently, I was able to capture a very cute but very unfortunate cat, a black kitty, female, whose eye just busted out of her head, of her skull. And I'm sorry to be so graphic, but it's just a big wound and it's very infected. Took almost a week to capture her, and we had almost given up. But she came out from hiding. We were able to get her into surgery that night. She's all stitched up. The eye is beyond saving, but at least she has one left. And yeah, that's been on my mind because now we're trying to find her a home because she was just a stray. If something has been on your mind, animal related, tell me all about it. Send me an email at tristan@rti.org.tw. That is TRISTAN @rti.org.tw. Making it to the end of an episode makes you a Formosa Fauna friend. Thank you for tuning in, friend. See you next time for Formosa Fauna Fridays here on Radio Taiwan International.